welcome back to the podcast. I know it's been a while, but better late than never. I'm Alessandro.
My name's Ryan.
And I'm Wandere.
So, there's been a lot of things going on since our last podcast, but one thing I'd like to talk about, I guess, today is who's going to win this year's Ballon D'Or. I know the two frontrunners are Messi and Haaland.
Erling. Messi?
Now, okay, so I was doing some research yesterday, and I saw, so basically Ballon d'Or voting goes from August from 2022 to July 31st of this year. So taking all those things into consideration, I don't know, I got to say Haaland, man. I got to say Haaland. He won the treble. He broke Alan Shearer's record, scored 36 goals in the Premier League his first season. I mean, what a season he's had.
He also won Young Player of the Year award in the Prem.
And Premier League Player of the Year.
Phenomenal season for Erling. Oh yeah.
He just had an amazing season, and especially for his debut, It was really amazing. I mean, I think the only argument you can make for Messi is that he won the World Cup, which is a massive accomplishment. But this is a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you think that a 3-week-long tournament should carry more weight than tournaments throughout the whole entire year?
Well, to be honest, for me, you obviously can't put any negative input onto the World Cup. The World Cup is the biggest tournament ever. Every player wants to play in that tournament, and even though it is only 3 weeks, you got the best players facing each other internationally. You can't say anything bad about it, but winning the World Cup is obviously a huge feat. Messi's never done it before. Obviously, that puts him a step higher than Haaland in that aspect. But when it comes to club play and everything like that, I think you hit it on the nose. It's like Messi's playing in maybe the third or fourth highest league in the world, and Haaland is 22, best player in the best league in the world.
Yeah, and you know what? For me, it's the way I think about it. When you're in club football, competition's a lot higher, right?
Yeah.
These guys play with each other week in, week out. They game plan. They have time to plan against each team. They have way more time, especially in the Champions League. And I think we forgot to mention as well, Haaland was also the top scorer in the Champions League this season. He scored 12 goals.
Exactly.
And the next highest person was Salah, so with 8. So
Andrew, would you like to step into
we
this
have
conversation?
a special guest. We have a special guest today. Give him the mic.
I believe that Haaland in his last 5 Champions League games, the most important games, he contributed to 0 goals in the last 5 games.
That is incorrect. He scored against Bayern in the quarterfinals.
Last 5 games.
Yeah, 2 quarterfinals, 2 semis, 1 final.
Or are you talking about in general?
In general, yes.
Yeah. Well,
Let me try.
I think if you look at the Champions League finals, against Inter, they really man-marked Haaland, which gave the midfield a lot more.
They did that in the semis too. Rudiger was all over him.
Yeah,
they wouldn't let him breathe.
They gave him a lot more license for the midfield to go forward, right? So you saw players like Rodri having a little bit more space to take shots, or De Bruyne before he got injured, or Phil Foden or Bernardo. He had so much more space because the center backs, especially for the Inter game, they had to remain so much more compact to kind of double team Haaland and prevent him from making those runs or making a big impact in the game.
I like to comment on De Bruyne. He was absolutely terrible in that UCL final. I'm happy he got injured. He couldn't even ping a pass.
He's a bottler.
Oh God.
He was actually, that was the second final he's played terribly. Before he got injured, I think he subbed it on purpose. I'm not even joking. He played so bad that I think he came off on purpose.
Yeah, he didn't have the best game, but on a positive note, I think a player who had a really, really great game that game was Bernardo Silva on the wing. He was eating DeMarco alive. He couldn't do anything with him. Bernardo was just amazing, simply amazing.
The last 3 games, Erling Haaland did nothing.
Yeah.
But
He
it depends
didn't.
on your Ballon d'Or criteria. Can you really say Haaland is a better player than Messi?
I would okay.
In the
how
last
about,
year, yes.
let's put this
A better player.
let's
in the
put
last
this in
year, yes.
perspective. If you had to build a team, and you had to choose either Messi or Haaland to be in your team, who you're picking? Because I'm picking Haaland.
I'm picking Haaland because he's younger.
But I'm saying, let's say,
If
just
Messi was 30, I'm picking Messi.
irrespective, who are you picking?
I'm
Well, I
picking
mean,
Haaland
well,
right
you have
now.
to pick. I mean, you have to consider age, but like his current form this season, I'm picking Haaland.
The only argument I have is that people always use the World Cup to discredit Messi from being the greatest of all time. So the one time he wins a tournament, people are trying to discredit him now. You got to put the respect on his name. It is a 3-week tournament, but it happens once every 4 years, and the World Cup brings something out of somebody, like brings something out of a player that they don't even know they have. There's players that give it all. They give it their life. It's way more impressive to do something in the World Cup than in the Champions League for me. And
Question for you.
if you go back, I think it was 2-3 years, Man City were 4 games away from winning the treble. So did Haaland do that much difference? I don't know. Guardiola didn't play with a striker last season.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think for me personally, I'm like, yeah, the World Cup's obviously the most massive competition in football, right? And then and if you're looking in from a legacy perspective, this is like the cherry on top for Messi. This is the last thing he really needed or wanted to, I think, in my opinion, accomplish, because he's already done everything, right? There is to do.
If you were to pick the 3 favorites for the World Cup, in your opinion, I know none of you guys are putting Argentina in there.
Argentina was one of like the top 5 teams, like
Top
betting
5.
favorites. I'm saying betting favorites. Yeah, they were.
But in your opinion, the favorites for both of you, like for all 3 of you guys, I know you guys have Brazil and France.
Yeah, the Brazil and France definitely.
And then who would you put third? I know you even said Portugal has a better team than Argentina this year.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Yeah,
So you guys would put Portugal.
but
So-
like, okay,
and then if you pick the
I'm
top 3
talking
favorites
about on
for Champions
paper.
Leagues, though, you guys all have Man City number 1.
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So everybody expected Man City
Okay,
to win the Champions
but I'm
League.
saying on paper, but like if you watch the way Argentina played, they played 10 times better than most other players. Like they had players in their side that no one like paid attention to. I'm talking about Enzo Fernandez. I'm talking about McAllister. Those guys, they really bring their level up tenfold.
But that's the point I was making. You get shit players that perform, that give it their all to win the World Cup.
But I think
you know what I mean?
in like the case of like Enzo or McAllister, they were already playing really well at a high level, but no one really had, like, they never had the limelight. So now that they had the chance to like perform, they really showed their skill. But I'm talking about like in general, all the players with Argentina collectively, they played as a unit. They played together. They
They're
played
gritty.
They exactly. They had grit. They played to win. Like if you look at a team like Portugal, they had so much talent. They did not play together. They did not. They all played individualistic in my opinion.
And Fernando Santos, he's bagless.
Yeah, Fernando
The whole game
Santos
against Monaco
is a fraud.
It was cross after cross after cross after cross.
Yeah.
They had nothing else to do.
This
Yeah.
guy
That's
said Monaco.
all they did.
Morocco.
Morocco, sorry.
It's okay.
Against Morocco, all they did was
He's a
cross.
fraud, bro.
It was
Fernando
30
Santos-
it was literally like 30 cross attempts in the second half.
Fernando Santos is a fraud.
The best chance they had was Ronaldo on a breakaway, and it wasn't even from a cross. It was from a
Yeah.
played through ball. And he didn't go back to that. All he did was cross and cross and cross.
Let me tell you something about Fernando Santos. If Fernando Santos had some balls, he dropped Ronaldo in. This is still anger from World Cup for me. Fernando
go.
Santos picks Gonzalo Ramos over Ronaldo to start the most important game in the World Cup. Obviously, every game is the most
Yeah, I was
important
gonna say.
as you go up. But
You can't drop him after that.
you could drop you definitely could drop him after a hat trick. I think any striker
No, you can't.
in Portugal would have scored a hat trick.
No, you're
I'm
not.
definitely-
You're
No,
not
that
dropping.
first goal
I'm
was a
definitely-
banger. That first goal was
Oh,
a
yeah.
banger.
The
No one's
first goal
doing
changed
that.
the game, but I'm saying I'm starting Ronaldo 100% in that game.
But
I'd rather play with 2 strikers.
you're not.
But I'm not letting Ronaldo sit.
Okay.
I'm not letting Ronaldo sit.
Gonzalo's 21 years old. You're not fucking dropping a 21-year-old who just
Gonzalo
scored 3
Ramos
goals in one game.
does not have the experience nor the skill set to be in a World Cup winning team. Like to be the main goal scorer in a World Cup winning team. I don't think so.
He goes into the next game with confidence. You have to start him.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't drop Ronaldo.
Exactly.
But look how he played. It's like, okay,
But you have to take that risk. He just scored a hat trick.
I don't know.
If you don't take that risk, he's gonna lose
I
all his
know,
momentum.
but I'm saying you can't bench Ronaldo. Like maybe
Devil's advocate.
start 2 strikers.
Ronaldo's never scored a World Cup knockout goal.
Yeah, but start 2 strikers.
I'm gonna give you a hot take. Portugal should have played a 4-4-2. Ronaldo and Gonzalo up front. Leão and João Felix on the right.
Fernando Fernando Santos got it wrong in my opinion.
Oh,
but
100%.
at the end of the day, it's like you can't leave the world's all-time top goal scorer in international and club level on the bench. Like, you can't do it. I'm sorry. No other coach would have done that.
I think you do go for 2 strikers.
Yeah. But just think about it, like,
Ronaldo knew it's his last chance, so
Yeah.
he was gonna give it his all.
But just-
and then Gonzalo Ramos was on a hot
Yeah.
streak, you start both of them.
but think about it as another perspective. Like, if you're looking at Brazil's team, let's say someone subs on, or they give Neymar a rest, or they start someone over Neymar, and he does well. Do you think in the one of the most important games, they're gonna bench Neymar? Hell no. They're gonna start exactly. There's no way you're gonna leave like one of those guys that like game-changing players on the bench, and then to bring Ronaldo on at halftime, like it really shows that he really had like zero balls. I'm sorry, he had no balls. If he had balls, don't play Ronaldo the rest of the game and stick with your tactical plan.
So this went from a Ballon d'Or debate between Messi and Haaland to Ronaldo should have started for Portugal in the World Cup. Andrew is
We switched topics, but let me go back. Let's take it back. Let's take it back to CL football. Right?
We need Andrew in this.
Let me
in
take
this.
it back. I'm gonna give my final thoughts and put this topic to rest.
Andrew sleep.
I think Haaland should win Ballon d'Or. That's I rest my case.
I'm taking Haaland.
I see both sides, but I go Messi.
Hot take. I'm taking Messi. I'm going against all
But
of you
let me-
fools.
Question I give you guys. I want you guys to debate this.
Yes.
Vinicius Jr. should be 3rd in the Ballon d'Or over Mbappe.
Okay, relax.
No.
Buddy,
no,
like,
no,
If
no,
listen-
no.
if that's the case, then Messi shouldn't even be top 3.
Exactly.
Mbappe.
Do you hear yourself?
Mbappe. You're in 2000 to 22 to 23. Mbappe is better than Messi.
I can't believe this guy this Brazilian fool just said.
Since the World Cup, Mbappe has been horrible. Ask any PSG fan. Since the
This
World
guy
Cup,
said
you get-
Vinicius
Messi
over
was good.
Mbappe. You're actually fried, buddy.
Mbappe first round exit in the Champions League. Why is that getting a Ballon d'Or? Winning the
Messi.
Oh my God.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why. That's exactly why.
But okay, question.
That's why.
How
argument
many
for
how
Messi.
many penalties did Messi get in the World Cup?
4.
No, more.
Okay,
He got more than 4.
Yeah, he missed 2.
Oh yeah, but he got scored 4.
but if penalties were easy to take, he would have an extra Copa America because he missed in the shootout.
He's
I
a terrible
know,
penalty.
But I'm
That's something he got memed for his whole career. His whole career, he got memed for missing penalties. Then in the biggest tournament of all time, he scores 5, and you guys are going to use it against him. You can't.
But he also missed how many?
This is coming from a Brazilian. I hate
no, I don't discredit. I'm on the same boat with you. Like you have the penalty, but you still have to make it, right? Obviously, it's a more clear cut chance, but you still have to make the penalty. Because look at all the guys that shot the penalties against the Argentinian goalie Martinez, like
The only thing
exceptional.
I think the first penalty was highly debatable. Right against Poland,
Yeah, he missed 2.
that
I'm pretty
one
sure.
was not a penalty.
But like, yeah, he did
There,
have. He
there
did
were
have,
at least 3 penalties
did-
there that shouldn't have been
He
penalties.
did have 6 penalties. He did have 6 total penalties and scored 4.
But Vinicius Jr. took his team to the Champions League semifinals. Obviously, he lost to the winners. He had the most assists in the tournament. He had the most goals and assists combined for Real Madrid over Benzema, who was the former Ballon d'Or winner.
Kyle Walker made him into a little child who's never played football in his life. Okay? I know you can't admit it,
He played good. Okay, you lock him up one game, but he played good the first game.
buddy. If you're really good and you're a
I feel
top
like
3
it's
player in the
unfair,
world,
like, Kyle Walker doesn't lock up bare guys. Neymar said
okay,
Kyle
obviously he
Walker-
does. Obviously he
Neymar,
does.
Alright.
times the player Vinicius Jr. said Kyle Walker is the hardest defender to go past in a 1v1.
I don't know.
I don't know. Have you seen Joseph once? That guy's a wall.
Okay, here we go again.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move
I
on.
think Andrew has a Jose Font
let's-
fan account on Twitter.
Let's move on to another topic. Here. All right. So another big headline in the football news these days is Messi choosing to come to MLS rather than go back to Barcelona, go anywhere else in Europe, or even go to Saudi Arabia and take that big bag. Why do you guys think Messi chose MLS?
The contract,
In like what sense?
everything he was offered, chance for an expansion team, the amount of money he's getting, portion of jersey sales, like the percentages he's getting off everything is just ridiculously high.
Do you think he would have made more money going to Saudi
What?
Arabia?
He probably would have, but look at David Beckham. Look at the amount of money he bought Inter Miami for, and they're worth what? 46 times the amount now?
Yeah, 600 million. I
Yeah.
read.
Buddy, just off of revenue, Messi will make just off what MLS is giving him in his contract will be more than that $100 million.
He will not make more than.
He will make
would.
more than $100 million a season just off of revenue. He's getting Apple
I don't
Apple
think
TV.
so.
He's getting
I don't
Apple
think-
TV revenue.
I don't think he'll make more money than he would in Saudi
I
Arabia.
think
Like upfront.
In the future
fees.
wise, I
Not
think so. Once he
upfront.
gets his
If he-
expansion
if he-
team
I
and everything,
think-
this was like a future move
Buddy,
for him.
I
agree with you.
100%.
If I think with that, if he exercises, like obviously we don't know what it's in his contract, but I do have a feeling that it's something similar to what Beckham had, where he has the chance to purchase an expansion side, and if he does, then I think eventually it might be more worthwhile. But
Our producer.
I don't think up front he'll make more money in MLS than he would if he went to Saudi Arabia.
Personally, I think so. Just for the long run things, he's
That's why I said
yeah,
if he's
okay.
If the,
Up
with
front,
the expansion team.
up front, yeah, he would have for sure made.
There's
more
no
money
way
in
Messi
Saudi.
would be making less than 200 million a
In
season.
his interview, though, didn't he say if I wanted the money, I would be in Saudi Arabia?
Exactly.
Of course.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's why he went to MLS is because he has that option to exercise the right to purchase an expansion side, similar to what Beckham did for Inter Miami, right?
Yeah,
Because Beckham bought, when he came to MLS in 2007, in his contract, he had that option to purchase Inter Miami or a stake in Inter Miami for 25 million. Now the team is worth 600 million. So I think that's like a big factor in why he chose to come to the MLS.
100%. Obviously, it's a money move.
And
right here for the long run. So you know,
One other thing too is I don't think he had anything left to prove, like to come back to Barcelona. To be honest with you, I think it's just like if he went there,
He said it was more of a disrespect thing to him.
well,
if
in
he
the
went
end of the
back.
day, buddy,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
you going back to your ex after she just dumped you,
Oh, but they had to
What?
let him. They were forced to let him
Buddy,
go. That's the only reason he left.
buddy.
They needed to let him go.
Listen.
yeah. I agree.
By Spanish law, you can't reduce a player's salary more than 50%. And even at 50% salary reduction,
I'm sorry.
he was still over budget.
I'm selling. I would rather sell 6 players on Barcelona than get rid of Messi.
No, he's 34. You let him go.
Yeah, you had to let him. You had to let him go.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
He is a legend, but you have to look at the future of your club. No player is bigger than the club.
No, exactly. I agree with Wallace. He had to go at that time, but now coming back, I don't think it's a good move for him because honestly, if he doesn't achieve the same heights as he did when he left, then he's gonna get criticized so much, and for what?
Question: is Messi winning one Champions League in the last 9 years? Is that a little stain to his legacy?
No, Messi.
The last Champions League he won was 2014, 2015.
I don't think it's a stain. Like I think for him, he's accomplished so much that it's not like a massive stain. But I guess it's you can if you're like debating, like would you prefer like Messi or Ronaldo or whoever, then you could use that against him. I think
He
so.
won the Copa America, those are the only two things he needed to.
Yeah.
But, like,
He did.
What do you
he
think,
did
Andrew?
everything, but like at the same time, it's like when you had that team with PSG, you had to make it far. So that's like an asterisk, I guess. But I don't think you could hold that against them.
100% asterisk.
Yeah. What do you think?
And he left hated.
Yeah, he did.
Big thing.
I think when he's coming up against my GOAT, Mr. Suey, he has no chance in the Champions League.
No, yeah,
His prime years were done by Real.
yeah. If we're talking about I think exactly what Wall's saying is like Messi in Champions League, even though he hasn't won so far, it's only an asterisk if you're comparing him to other people. But in terms of like the grand scheme of his legacy, I don't think that's too much
It
of
doesn't
a
make a difference. to be
stain. Yeah, I
honest,
don't think it makes a difference either.
Trophy logic, though, if you look at performances, he was still playing good. Like the year Barca choked to Roma.
Yeah.
Liverpool even, he dragged them there.
No, yeah.
And even against Liverpool, his players missed open chances. Dembele should have sealed the coffin in the first leg when he missed that tackle.
Hey, listen,
Hey, buddy,
Okay.
no reading the newspaper over here.
listen. If he's the best player ever, he's doing it on his own.
In my
Who?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, here we
All right,
go.
moving
This
on.
is why we don't have a Brazilian on this podcast because these
Moving on.
guys are more biased
Moving
than my mother's love for her first child. God.
You're saying he doesn't have an argument?
Oh
for greatest
God.
player?
Oh God.
You're saying he doesn't
I'm not
The thing is, when you talk about like historic players, it's kind of hard for like I'd say like us or people like us to judge, or people of our generation. I meant, is because like we never got to watch them. So like if you're talking about like us, like I think we can like only really talk about like Messi and Ronaldo, or maybe even like Ronaldinho or like players like that. If you remember, but like for us, for me like I can only really talk about like Messi and Ronaldo because I don't really remember like early 2000s or like 90s or obviously when Pele and Eusebio played. Yeah, I mean obviously like it's yeah, obviously it's like a different eras, right? So you can't really compare, or it's hard to at least. Like the level of competition was way different back then than it is now. But I guess it's everything's
You can't compare stats because it's
yeah.
but you have to compare like the impact.
Yeah, but everything's relative, right?
You got any fours?
go fish.
Yeah.
You got any threes?
All right.
What's the next segment?
Let's talk about transfers. Let's talk about either like a rumor or a transfer that recently happened that you're really excited about, or you really think's a good move. Andrew, you can start.
Biggest one, Jude Bellingham to Real Madrid.
That's spicy. Madrid's midfield is looking tantalizing for the
Yeah.
next like generation of football.
No, yeah,
Like
exactly.
they just got out of a complete generation of midfield, like, and now they just built one for another 10 years to come.
Start 2, bench 1, and cut 1. Bellingham, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Valverde.
I'm dropping Tchouaméni.
I'm starting Bellingham and
I'm
Valverde.
Me too. I'm starting Bellingham, Valverde. I'm benching Tchouaméni. No, I'm starting Bellingham and Valverde. I'm putting Camavinga on the bench and I'm cutting Tchouaméni.
Yeah.
Cause Camavinga lately, like on the
Camavinga-
ball,
Yeah.
he's a beast.
He's a little bulldog.
Oh, dude, he could play left back. He could play friggin'
Yeah,
CDM,
kind of
center
underrated.
mid, buddy.
Yeah, 4. I wouldn't be surprised to see PSG snipe Tchouaméni and Mbappé.
Yeah,
Tchouaméni and money.
yeah.
I heard PSG is looking for Bernardo Silva too.
That would be a good transfer.
That you know what?
He leaves on a free, right? His contract's done.
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure his contract situation, but I think it'd be a good deal
Well,
for
we were
PSG.
Sure though, because Grealish in the South
Yeah.
he's like, Bernardo, please stay.
Yeah, I know there's big rumors for him to go.
Yeah.
We were talking about it the other day. It's like PSG's time to win a Champions League, I think, is now. I know they're building now, like, for the future, but, you know, if you want to keep Mbappe for this season and maybe talk him into staying even longer, buddy, the time is now to win that Champions League. You have to sign guys. Getting Bernardo Silva, massive signing for them if they could.
That's your big transfer.
Okay,
Is Mbappe leaving?
that's my question. If you're Bernardo Silva and you know Mbappe already said he's not re-signing, are you going to PSG?
1 year contract.
1 year,
1 year.
2 year, just okay. But
Yeah.
like realistically, if I was Bernardo, I'm signing 2 years, just so like I don't look like a glory hunter. Well, it kind of does, buddy. Like
As
Yeah.
a player, you have to glory hunt. You're not going to go to a place if you don't think they're going to
Yeah.
or if you don't think they have the potential to. You
I-
have to.
I think if he goes to PSG, he signs like a 3-year contract, like a medium length, and I don't think they'd sign him for anything less. To be honest with you, if they have to put up money to give money to PSG, yeah.
What do you think about Bayern not wanting to keep Cancelo and getting Guerrero?
I think that they don't want to scarf up the money that Man City wants for João Cancelo. I think they're going to be asking a pretty decent sum, and I don't think Bayern Munich never spends tons of money on players. That's not the way they work. I think I think 70 was the number that they were asking for when he was in the winter transfer window, right? When he was on loan. But I don't think Bayern's the type of team that spends
they're not spending
big sums.
They're not
on
spending
players.
70 million on a left back.
Cancelo's 28, I think.
He's still got quite a bit.
Do
of
you
football
think
left
now
in him, but
Fonzie's going to the left wing?
Davies?
Yeah.
I don't think so, bro. Honestly, there's so much like there's already a starting 3 up front for Bayern, but you're not dropping Kingsley Coman or Leroy Sané or Serge Gnabry for Davies to come up and maybe show you what he has at the left wing.
He showed you
Listen.
2 days ago.
Listen, who else is Bayern playing at left back? Mazraoui? I don't think so.
He's on the
He's gonna be on the right
buddy.
side. They gotta.
Guerrero's going to be on the left.
Exactly.
Guerrero and Mazarawi. So where's
No,
Fonzie?
wow.
Put Fonzie on the
Guerrero-
wing. Let him
Why
I
run.
do
could see Madrid.
Buddy, Guerrero was playing center mid for the last like quarter of the season for Borussia Dortmund. He was
He's
a
a-
revelation in the midfield, buddy.
Look at Trent.
it
Same
was
thing.
insane.
Guerrero.
Rafael Guerrero.
They moved him center mid. Same thing with Trent, man. They moved him to the midfield. They're just pinging balls.
I feel like that has to happen with some guys. Like you said, like with Trent. Like I know yesterday, England versus Malta.
Mm-hmm.
But he scored a banger at
Yeah.
Cam.
Yeah.
Trent outside the box.
I said it myself mid-season. Trent is a creative-minded player. I said
He's a
this-
fucking liar.
Listen.
I called this point. I'm the one that said this.
Listen,
Here we go.
listen, lads.
You told me if
Trent?
Trent wasn't British, he'd be playing in the Scottish League.
Buddy, relax yourself.
I literally said move Trent to center mid and watch him.
look at Kimmich. Kimmich is the same thing, man. Like he wasn't fast enough for playing at right back. They had to put him at a CDM role or a center mid role. And
He was just too smart. When you're too talented, you don't play left back and right back.
yeah,
Those are like the talentless positions.
Yeah.
Pretty much pace.
yeah.
It's like Camavinga.
You-
He's talented to play left back.
Yeah, he has that.
Camavinga as a left back. But
You have one really good foot
His-
as a fullback, and that's it.
Camavinga's ability to carry the ball forward and his dribbling is really amazing.
It's insane.
left back. It was
Yeah.
a short-term.
I think João Cancelo goes to PSG.
Ooh.
I think he moves.
Ooh,
To
then
PSG.
he goes right. He goes to right back.
He goes to right back, and I think he has that license to roam. Because if PSG plays a more narrow formation, he'll have that ability to go forward.
Has my boy Fabrizio Romano said anything about that?
I wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
Oh, then we're gonna have Portugal Central over there. You got Vitinha, you got Nuno Mendes, you have possibly
Danilo.
Bernardo Silva.
You have Danilo.
Yeah.
Sanchez.
Yeah.
Renat is
Oh, we
gonna,
got Wolves
that's good.
2.0.
buddy. Renat is gonna go to Benfica again.
All right.
Mark my words, buddy.
I have an interesting transfer to talk about as well. How about Alexis McAllister to Liverpool? Do you think he solves
Massive signing.
Do you think he solves their midfield problems? Because I seen a post on Instagram the other day saying that McAllister is not going to solve Liverpool's midfield problems because he doesn't have the legs. Like he doesn't. He's not a. He's
Well,
not a
definitely.
player that's going to run those
No,
distances and like be that gritty
Yeah, buddy.
person.
Like,
Thiago.
buddy, this guy had Moises Caicedo running that midfield. He was like the engine in Brighton. Like McAllister, he was the creator. Like, get the ball up the
Yeah,
field.
that's what I'm saying to you. Like, do you think Liverpool?
He's not running back. And
I think
forth up the
Liverpool
field,
needs
buddy.
like a CDM type player to replace Fabinho.
Oh,
'cause
100%. Fabinho.
Towards the end of the season, Fabinho's been awful.
Oh yeah, Fabinho all season, buddy. He's getting too slow for the Prem.
Yeah, he's getting up there, but his quality has like dropped off.
Oh, 100%.
So I think they need an actual like CDM to be there and play that position.
100%.
I think it's a myth that you need legs to play in Liverpool. Look at Thiago Cazorla. That guy barely runs.
No, yeah, but I'm saying like in terms of like the defensive midfield because I think they got caught out a lot between the center backs and the CDM.
Yeah, but I think they should have
midfield.
got like a CDM role player
Exactly, that's what I was
instead
thinking
of
too.
because you have Gakpo they're throwing in the midfield.
But I think they did need him because like they didn't. Their midfield was kind of trash. And to be honest with you, like who are they playing ahead of McAllister? Like Curtis Jones. Like they needed a better.
What happened to Thiago?
Thiago is injury prone too. You got to remember that.
Yeah, that's true.
Him and Matip.
Did Arthur ever play a
Arthur, I don't
No.
even know.
Barely.
He played one U23 game or U21 game for them,
Yeah.
and then that's it.
hats off to Liverpool for not sacking Klopp.
I don't think they should have sacked.
No, yeah.
I think that would have been
Sack him.
that would have been a very very dumb decision to sack Klopp.
But I think 90% of clubs would have sacked their manager if he was that.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen.
So hats off.
Chelsea is that team. If if Liverpool fired Klopp, they're like with Graham Potter. Like, sorry, I'm explaining it wrong, but basically, what they did with Graham Potter was completely wrong, and Liverpool looked at it like that, and they're like, we can't do that with Klopp at
I
all.
think it's complete.
With Tuchel.
I think it's completely
Yeah,
different because I
exactly,
think in like Liverpool's perspective, they see Klopp's vision, they see his game plan. They just don't have the players to do what he wants to do. I think with Graham Potter, they didn't see his vision and what he wanted to do with Chelsea. I mean, they gave him the money and he couldn't put those pieces together. But that's a different like subject. 'Cause if you want to talk about Chelsea, then I think
Oh, buddy, we could have a whole
I-
pod on Chelsea.
yeah, I think it's
and the whole situation with
like
them.
if we're talking about Chelsea, I think it was a terrible idea to sack Potter just because Chelsea wasn't playing the best, but I think their problem was that they weren't scoring goals. Like they couldn't score to save their life.
They haven't had a striker in forever.
Exactly.
Like, who was the last proper striker they had?
Diego Costa.
Thank you.
Like you're telling me that when you sack Graham Potter, it was better to sack Graham Potter than to keep him and then hire who came after Potter?
Oh, Frank Lampard.
No. Didn't someone come in after Graham Potter and get sacked too?
No.
Yeah, it was his assistant. I forgot his name. The Chelsea assistant coach that took over Graham Potter.
The bald guy?
Yeah, I don't remember his name. But anyway, they ended up getting that other guy and Frank Lampard, and I'm like, there's no shot that's better than keeping Graham Potter. Frank Lampard couldn't even set a freaking consistent lineup. He had Joao Felix on the bench, and every time he came on the field, he scored.
Oh, yeah.
He scored 2 goals off the bench. And in a side that needs quality, why would you keep one of your most talented players
The thing
on the
that
bench?
kills me, like, why are you bringing on Aubameyang to start games? Who hasn't started one
Yeah.
game of the season, who's been out of form probably since he last played for
No, yeah.
Arsenal. Like, was he? Like, I don't know, but I didn't watch too much Barca back then. But realistically, like, bro, like, it's like you're trying to revive players' careers. Who have... Oh fuck. But no, like, seriously, like he's trying to revive players' careers who are like already, you know, they're done at Chelsea. Like,
I don't know if
buddy,
he's trying
like,
to revive them, but I think he's just going to what he knows.
I know, but like,
So it's like when he was the coach, he had his like favorite players. So it's kind of like, in that sense, he's trying to like go back to what he knows. But like those guys are they had like a big drop off in their careers.
100%.
So it's kind of like not working.
buddy, like, no disrespect towards Sterling, but buddy, you're starting him over Joao Felix. You started like,
I
buddy,
think Sterling is fine
on.
to start, but I think that
come on.
you need to start like Joao Felix as like a left wing or like a center forward kind of role, or even
Yeah.
like behind the striker
Yeah.
to give him more of that creativity.
I wouldn't play Felix striker.
No,
No.
he's not physical enough to play that striker role. Because I think Joao Felix, he's perfect in that deep like a play like a
false
number
nine.
10. Yeah, like
Yeah,
a false
false
9,
nine.
number
Center
10,
forward, yeah.
like behind the striker, and let him be able to drop in like a free roaming position.
Yeah. You throw Mudkip on the left.
Mudkip.
Mudryk.
You throw Sterling on the right.
They have like those weird positions where they only play one type of game.
Yeah,
Off to the wing, but centrally like.
Yeah.
yeah. Like Joao Felix is kind of like that free roaming player. Like you want to give him that license to do kind of go in the field, pick it up in those deep pockets, and drive forward and pick out passes and things like that. Because that's what he's really good at,
Yeah.
in my opinion. But I think
Good enough to give him all that responsibility, all that. Like,
I think he's better than everyone else they had, and I think give him that chance. But I think in Lampard's defense, since he's a loanee, he's like, let me play the guys that are under contract that we're gonna keep. So he's thinking about like next
Oh,
season
for sure, for sure.
because he is a club guy, right? A club legend. So he wants what's best for the club, in a sense. That's why
Yeah.
I think he maybe wasn't starting Joao Felix, because he knows he's on his way out, and they're probably not gonna sign him.
is he going back to Atletico? Is he?
I think he's going back to Atletico because
Yeah,
he's
he is.
under he has a like a
Oh, he
pretty
just
long
got
contract.
yeah,
They
he just
renewed his contract.
Extended his contract.
Yeah, they're gonna either loan him or sell him. But I don't think anyone's wanting to pay those big transfer fees.
Well,
for
either
him.
way, like when you sign, buddy, when you sign a player for 120 million, either he's becoming the best player in the world and raising his value, or he becomes a mediocre or still a good player, but his value's not going to be at as high as 120 million,
Can't be the best player.
brother.
At Atletico Madrid.
Yeah,
Of course not. Of course not. I think going to Atletico wasn't the most viable option for Joao at the time. I don't think he should have went there, but that's obviously a different
I
story
think
right
for
now,
like, maybe
but-
like the type of player he is, like the Atletico style of play maybe doesn't suit him as well as other teams would have.
yeah,
That play a more technical game, I think.
100%.
But I think that next season Chelsea is gonna have a really good like season. I think because they're not in any European competitions, they'll have the time and like the rest to get their formations right and get those players playing the way they want to, because they have a really talented roster of players. They're gonna have to trim a lot of players because they have a lot of dead wood, but once they do that and get those guys in, they have so much talent.
Deadwood, eh?
Dead wood. Anyway,
Andrew, you seem pretty quiet there. Would you like to?
I was leaving you alone with your wood.
Oh,
I got
Spicy.
another transfer I like. It was Koku for Benfica, the Turkish midfielder from Feyenoord that they signed.
Kokchu.
but yeah, I don't even know how to say his name too. But
I don't know how to pronounce it,
Kokchu.
but let me tell you something about this. Like, because I did a little bit of research on this guy when he first signed to Benfica. So, let me do a backstory. Last season, Benfica had Enzo Fernandez. Played fantastic in the World Cup and was really pivotal in Benfica's style of play. They sell Enzo. They don't replace him. They're playing anyone they can in that role, right? So they're playing Chiquinho. They're playing Arnusis. They're playing João Neves. They're playing all these players in that role, but no one can fill the gap or the void he left in because Enzo carried the ball and progress and had so much responsibility when it came to that progressive carrying that no one filled in that gap, and that's why you could see after Enzo left, Benfica had a big drop in form or dip in form. So signing him, I think he fills in that void because he's a deep lying playmaker. He did the same thing for Feyenoord, right?
Yeah.
And like if you look in his had his statistics, like he's in the top like 90 percentile for like progressive passes attempted, and even shots taken. So I think that he's going to be a very exciting signing, and if he's used in the correct way or in the way I think he is, basically slotting him where Enzo left off, I think he's going to be a fantastic signing for Benfica, and I think he's going to and for the fee they got him for, like 30 million, he's going to pay off in dividends.
100%. Like I think this signing for Benfica is massive, just for the fact that like having a player of that quality come to Benfica at that age is pretty huge. Like beating Premier League sides to his signature is huge for them. So I don't know. Kudos to Benfica on that signing there.
Yeah.
I don't think they're done yet in the transfer window as well. I think with the money they made just off Champions League alone this season, going to the quarterfinals they made it to, pretty massive for them there as well. Topping a group with PSG and Juve in it. Buddy, a lot of players are definitely putting respect on Benfica's name these days.
Exactly. And I think it's because they know they'll have that chance to progress in the system, and they know they'll have a lot of chance to play and have that growth.
100%. 100%. A lot of these young guys are definitely looking at Benfica now and like seeing like, hey, I have a lot more potential here playing than going to the Prem at 19, 20 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you go to like a place like Manchester United, you're going to have like that huge pressure. And like if you have like a bad run of form, like I'm talking about like 2 or 3 games and you don't play well, they're going to like eat you alive in the media. They're not going to give you that opportunity to like settle in and find your place in the squad.
Of course, you're going to the biggest league in the world. You're not just hearing it from like domestic media. You're hearing it from international. You're hearing it everywhere you go. What you're like, you have to own up to your price tag. Like, look how happy Jack Grealish is now, living up to his 110 million pound contract now. Like, buddy, for 2 years this guy was playing below average and definitely not living up to that price tag. Let's be real.
Yeah.
He said it himself. He said he felt that he wasn't giving enough to the club.
Yeah. You feel that responsibility when you go for so much money.
Yeah,
right?
he said they bought me for so much money and I'm not doing much. How can I improve my game?
Yeah.
And,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he had a good mentality towards
Yeah.
it. Some people aren't as mentally strong as he is
well,
Yeah.
to handle that criticism.
that and he's already like in his prime age, buddy. Like, imagine going there at 19, 20 years old and hearing all this nonsense. Like, you're still a kid, bro. Like, you think you could mentally take all that pressure and all that after having one garbage season?
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely tough at that young age. Like, that's why like going to the Prem at such a young age, me personally, I don't understand it. I wouldn't do it myself. Like, you gotta think for your future, buddy.
All right. I got a question for Andrew.
Right into the Prem.
Jesus Christ.
Where am I going, boys?
You're going straight to the 5th. You're going to the 10th division.
Newcastle.
That's like
lads.
Sunday League football. And you're getting sacked.
Wait, hey,
He has no...
That jersey isn't even real.
Ryan's a fan of the game.
definitely is real.
It says Nordstrom Football Club.
This guy he's the fan of football. He loves every team.
Buddy, I love the sport.
But I have a question for Andrew.
Hi.
So I see Sporting selling a
Oh
lot of
fuck! I
their
don't even want to talk about
selling
this.
a lot of their players, right?
Here we go.
You got another big player that they're selling, Ugarte.
Ugarte gone 60 mil. Boom.
To PSG. What are you guys doing with that money? Because I have not
Nothing.
heard any transfer
We're giving
rumors.
it to the president,
Oh,
and he's gonna go
buddy.
take his wife out for dinner. That's what we do every year.
That club is in absolute shambles.
Buddy, our transfer profit is ridiculous. We
Yeah.
can probably have an all-star team, but they don't spend anything.
You guys also
Marcus
got rid
Edwards,
of Pedro
Market
Porro, too.
Edwards is rumored. Pedro Gonçalves is rumored. We got rid of Pedro Porro. Like
Yeah.
Gonzalo Ignacio is gonna leave. They're not gonna buy anybody.
Bro, just look back at the season that you guys finished, like what, 10th in the league or something like that.
The same thing.
Well, you're gonna go through that same process once again.
We sold Bruno Fernandes. Who did we get?
Right? It's
Yeah.
like
Nobody. Yeah, we sell everybody.
Was he a big name at the time?
I
don't
think he went
remember
for
well,
like
he
the
was
30s.
big. He was big for Guimarães. Like for Guimarães, he was playing.
Yeah.
He's from Guimarães. He was at Guimarães and then he went to Sporting.
Yeah, we took him and then we sold him.
Yeah. He was big. He was big for Guimarães when he was there.
That's Sporting's problem,
Yeah.
man. They have good players. They sell them. They don't do anything
don't
with the money.
reinvest.
They don't use it. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because this season, I already know Ugarte's gone. It's already almost confirmed for 60 mil.
Yeah,
Marcus Edwards is gonna leave.
yeah.
Pedro Gonçalves is gonna leave. We're gonna lose Gonzalo Ignacio, and then who the fuck's playing on this team?
You're gonna have to.
We got Captain
the
Uruguay over here, 39 years old,
academy.
slower than my mother.
Oh, buddy,
I don't know, man. We're gonna finish. I'm calling
This-
it 13th.
this
Yeah.
team is in absolute shambles.
13th.
Their team is absolute shambolic, buddy.
All right, I got another one. I heard this morning. This is an interesting one. I heard this morning, Nicolo Brella going to Newcastle.
It's fake. They confirmed it already.
It's fake.
Oh, buddy, that
I
actually
heard-
be huge.
That would have been. I would have loved to
massive.
see him in the Prem. Nicolo Brella with a guy
okay,
that
but
quality.
his Champions League final was terrible.
Yeah.
He played a terrible big game.
Okay, but like the thing is for me is like when you play against like Man City, you're not gonna see much of the ball. So like a guy like him is not gonna.
Who's the center left back? That guy put in it.
DeMarco.
DeMarco, bro,
That man.
Yeah,
that man
give me
played a
put some
massive.
put some
game.
respect on my name because before the
He
before
did,
the
he
match,
did.
I told everyone I don't know if it was because Benfica was ass or because DeMarco was pinging in crosses and running like a maniac.
He was at fault for the goal a little bit because when he slid on the floor, he stayed on the floor instead of
Yeah.
watching the ball. But dude, other than that, for me,
He was one of their
he was
best
like the
players.
real man of the match.
Yeah, and bro, his crossing ability is amazing.
That guy's lungs. Holy
Yeah.
This guy was sprinting up, down.
Yeah.
I gave these
Oh,
guys
buddy.
a scouting
wait,
report
wait.
before the match.
Can we give match ratings right now to my boy Romelu Lukaku?
Oh,
Big
buddy,
Rom, baby.
I
Listen.
have a hot take.
Let's hear the hot take. Give him the mic. Someone give him a mic.
Lukaku wasn't as bad as people think. Dzeko and Lautaro Martinez were worse. I'd rather have a player miss chances, but get the chances, get involved in the game, than have two guys that just completely ghost the game.
Oh yeah.
Lukaku was the biggest scapegoat of the match because Lautaro could have made it 1-0 if he passed to Lukaku when the defense was sleeping and Ederson came out. He had
Yeah.
a clear path to
Yeah.
Lukaku. He attempted the shot from an impossible angle. Had he passed and Lukaku scored, or had he done something different, it would have been a completely different narrative.
From that angle, I don't understand why he doesn't just try a chip
Yeah.
into the box. Because you have Lukaku coming in, try to chip the keeper, just try to chip the cross in. It made no
I
sense.
think that's the problem with football fans. Like you
I see
you
what
have
you're
a
saying.
guy that has a bad reputation already in terms of like
Yeah.
being memed, and you know that if he was gonna miss one chance, he was gonna get blamed.
Oh, 100%.
I'd rather have a player miss chances but get them, be involved in the game. Listen, the best chances of the game were when Lukaku came in. Dzeko did absolutely nothing.
I agree with
Lautaro
you.
did nothing.
Yeah.
Lukaku took the steam for the team.
No, he did.
He
And
took all the heat.
and I have like your same like kind of rationale when people criticize like Darwin, because like he misses a lot of chances, yes, but he's always getting them. He's always in those he's always getting those opportunities. So it's like you can't fault the player for missing opportunities when like other players in his position won't even get it.
And I seen people on Twitter saying, "Oh, if Dzeko had the opportunity Lukaku had, he
but he
wouldn't have
be
missed."
there. Yeah, he
But
doesn't have that
but
speed.
he didn't. He had 45 minutes to get into that chance,
Yeah,
to miss chances, to score chances. He did nothing.
yeah. I just think that it's like the people are memeing Lukaku because it's just funny the way like
That's why, like,
Lukaku.
in like football media, as soon as you
Yeah.
get like some type of like meme reputation,
yeah,
you
It's
can have
done.
the best game ever. If you miss a chance, you're the
Yeah.
scapegoat.
It's done, yeah.
I think it's because he was in the middle of the net and he blocked the chance. He blocked like one or two
Okay,
chances.
but
and
and
stuff.
that one,
It's unlucky,
he
but
was
it's kind
not
of
at fault.
funny.
Yeah, it's funny, but like he was like people were genuinely blaming him. I'm like, dude, he had
Yeah.
zero fault. His back was turned.
Yeah.
Like you're facing the goal, and the guy was
Yeah.
behind you. Like you have zero chance.
No,
of,
yeah,
like,
I agree.
And
it's tough.
his missed header, is that Ederson's morale or is that just a bad shot? I
That's
think it's a
his
shot.
bad header.
it
Really
was a
bad.
bad header.
You got to put it to the side. Like
wa-
especially a guy of his quality, you know he can do it.
Who
I
headed
think he
it
tried
on
to
the
just get it on
crossbar?
target.
DeMarco.
Yeah.
He should have headed the ball down.
I think it's because the ball had like
it was he had to the way the ball was
That's what
going.
the
Yeah.
commentator said on my.
the ball
Yeah,
had like
EP3.
no power to it.
Yeah.
No, like,
he just tried to like
So he just
chip
tried to
it
dink
kind
him.
of. Yeah.
because that's
I know
all
is
he
that-
could do.
I'll never watch a British team play on BT Sports again. The
Oh,
most biased guys I've ever
I'm not
seen.
gonna lie. This was probably one of the worst Champions League finals I've seen. It
No.
was so boring. It was
Whatever
so
the teams
boring.
are, I will always say it will never be worse than Tottenham and Liverpool. That's
No.
the final, right?
That was horrendous.
It'll never be worse than that.
This was so boring.
Never.
I was expecting way more than one goal. I was expecting like
no, but
Like,
you
I
got to
expect-
give
I
credit.
expected a
3-1,
1-0.
4-1.
I'm gonna tell you right now, you have to give credit to Inter because they played a fantastic. Like
but they
got-
weren't attacking.
I know they didn't, but dude, they're an Italian team. You know, the Italian style of football is they're gonna sit back, they're gonna absorb the pressure, and they're gonna look to counter, and they did that fantastically.
You can't even say it was a bad game plan because they were one
No,
Lukaku
exactly.
header away from taking it to
Exactly,
extra
that's what
time.
I'm saying to you. Inter, in my opinion, played better. Like this might be a hot take. They played better than Man City.
They did. Did you
They
see
lined
the,
up better.
Did you see the expected goals? I think
Yeah.
it was 214.
They just couldn't put it away.
Inter and 0.94 for Man City.
Either way, like tactically, Inter had the better game. It's just
No, exactly.
And Holland did nothing.
It's like, buddy.
Exactly. They got him out of the game. They
Right,
did what they had
He,
to
he
do.
had that chance in the first 10 minutes and then nothing else.
Yeah.
The left-footed
Inter
chance.
brought on some 19-year-old unknown kid. Who did Man City bring on when
I know.
Ronaldo got
I know they
tired?
didn't-
Riyad Mahrez.
You can't compare
Buddy,
you can't
like,
compare the squads.
The depth,
But
the
I'm
depth
talking
of the
about
teams, bro.
I'm talking about game plan and
Yeah.
the way they played. They lined up.
No, exactly.
If it wasn't for that absolutely brilliant strike from Rodri, that game's going to like OT or they might even lose it.
Yeah.
I think.
To be fair, that shot
Yeah.
should have been blocked, man. There were so many guys in that
buddy,
box.
no,
You know what it is?
It was
I
a
think
crazy. It
everything
was a crazy
going-
shot.
He stayed on the ground. He was watching the ball.
Yeah.
Because I think like in the moment he was kind of like just.
Everything happened so fast.
No, the problem is every Man City player was calling for a handball in the box, and all the players like it was super quick, but they all look at the linesman to see what if he calls it, if it's a handball
But
in the
let
box.
me tell you something right now. That strike from Rodri was absolutely
Oh,
brilliant.
of course.
On the first time,
yeah,
curving around two men. Oh, Nana didn't even see it coming.
yeah.
Like,
And he had a big game too.
like yeah, and honestly, dude, like I know you can say like, oh yeah, maybe the Inter player should have reacted, but the ball's coming out so fast. There was the handball shot. They literally turned around and the guy cranks it, bends it around them in right beside the post.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing from Rodri. And let's put some credit on Rodri's name because he did the same thing the other day against Italy. He
Yeah.
scored almost the similar way.
Yeah.
I was shocked he didn't win man.
Or sorry, he didn't win, but he didn't score it. The other guy,
Jose
did. Or-
Lu.
Jose Lu. But that
Jose
was
Lu.
off his shot the
Poor
same way.
Lens.
I was shocked he didn't get back because they usually give it to who scores. I think John Stones won it.
Yeah,
From man of the match.
yeah.
Did he?
General,
a good game too.
General John Stones.
General.
But man, Rodri, I think he's pretty underrated because
Yeah.
guy's amazing.
No, yeah. Rodri
I'm gonna be
definitely
honest
is.
here. I think the worst man on the pitch that game was Akanji and Ake. They were terrible.
Yeah.
They were
Are
actually.
we talking
terrible.
just Man City players? Or are we
Oh,
talking?
I'm talking.
Oh,
both
buddy,
teams.
no,
They played
no.
terrible.
Lautaro Martinez was definitely the worst player on that field that day.
Man,
Definitely.
Akanji and Ake were just terrible.
Buddy, Lautaro,
Zeko did not
I
have
probably said it 3-4 times that game. Where is he? Like, I don't even think he's made a touch on the ball
No,
yet.
he had one really good opportunity, and that was about it.
Yeah, but I think you're playing one striker for Inter in that game. You put an extra midfielder on, you run the midfield. You try and win the midfield
if you're gonna
battle.
park the
in
bus,
that
you might
game.
as well just run a
I
five
think
back.
they do with
Like,
their.
fully.
I think honestly, they just had to. I think they played it perfectly as they could.
No, I know,
They
but-
lined up well. They played that 3-5-2, which is almost like a 5 at the back with those fullbacks going up and down the field. They took Haaland completely out of the game.
Yeah.
And if they could finish their chances, they would have won that. So I can't put any fault to like
No,
In-
100%.
Inzaghi because he lined them up
Yeah.
as best as I don't think anyone would have played them any better.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
You guys, I seen this on Twitter because you were talking about Rodri. Based only at their time in Manchester City, from an individual performance perspective, how would you rank these guys? Yaya Toure, David Silva, Fernandinho, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Rodri, and Gundogan.
Okay, that's a lot of players.
That's a lot of
From-
guys.
from
That's
one
a
to
lot
eight?
of guys.
Let's do like at least.
Buddy, I'll do
give us
like
3 good ones.
Hold
I
on,
know,
hold on,
yeah.
hold on. Give me the list.
I
Oh,
ranked Yaya Toure first.
yeah, I agree with that.
De Bruyne second, and then I put David Silva, Fernandinho, Bernardo Silva, Gundogan, Rodri. I put Rodri.
Let me-
Are we
see.
going? But are we going based off?
He needs more time.
Okay,
Whoa,
but
whoa,
is
whoa,
this
whoa.
based off skill? Is this based off skill or is this?
Individual performances.
Oh, David Silva's number 1.
Okay, wait. We'll go in order. We'll go in order here.
I think that guy had like 20. Didn't he have like 20 goals? As a
Oh,
senior?
buddy, if we're pulling up stats, we're pulling up stats.
Okay.
But I'm talking out of pure like, buddy, I'm talking out of
We
what I
said
saw.
individual performance.
I
you want me to
know,
spell it out
man.
for you?
I
We're
know,
not
so
just-
that's why I'm saying David Silva. David Silva was. You talk to any Man City fan, they'll probably say their favorite player all time the past
but the thing
decade
is for,
was
like,
David
no.
Silva.
The thing is, if you're talking about like a guy like Rodri, he's not that guy that like he's gonna be the best individual player on the team, but he's gonna be those guys that win you matches because of the way he plays, the way he controls the midfield. Exactly. Like you're not gonna freaking see him going up the pitch like David Silva or De Bruyne, or even scoring a lot of goals like Yaya Toure. He's gonna be there on the edge of the box when you need him to score a goal. That's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah.
He's gonna be that guy to make interceptions, tackles. He passes, but he's not gonna get that love. Kind of like a Busquets-esque
Yeah.
guy.
Gundogan had a huge season for Man City.
You know, yeah, Gundogan was really good.
Well, what was it against?
I'm gonna take Yaya Toure number 1, David Silva number 2, De Bruyne 3. I'll pass it each. De Bruyne 3, Fernandinho 4, Bernardo 5, Gundogan.
Well, guys, that's gonna end our podcast for this week. I know we've been gone for quite a while. We're trying to make this a lot more consistent these days. We got a brand new camera, like I said earlier. We got a new setup. We're definitely a lot more hungry now to get going.
We got Wallace on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, shout out Wallace in the
Shout out
back.
Wallace.
There you go, buddy.
Oh, it's so camarón.
But yeah, we're definitely trying to make this more fun. Find new ways to, get you guys going, get you guys more active in the comments.
Please give us 5 likes so we know you're live.
Could you guys please let me know?
The man in the middle all over TikTok after
Yeah,
Buddy,
I want you
I
guys
beat
to
you
let
at
me
trivia. That's all these
what you
guys
think
have to
about
know.
Ryan's Ozil
Okay?
comment. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Roast him in the comments.
Say what you gotta say, but
Until next time, peace out.
ciao for now.
Give your respect.
I'm straight from a block, we're flipping a 2 to a 4 ain't an option. I hustle by nipping and nipping. I'm destined to get it, you know that I'm all in, see money be calling. No breaks for piss, no stalling. White boy with a shotty like Haaland. Better pay your shit like ASAP or show bro like go call a mobbing. Batman in the ends love robbing. Curfew down by 10, so see a girl like mine like see her, cause ain't no way you'll see her, she a low-key diva. In between her legs like Salah, give her the sauce, some like